Welcome to Westcity Stories. This is a collection of people from our church sharing a snapshot into their life so far. Let's dive in. Welcome to the third episode of the Westcity Stories podcast. And it's my pleasure to welcome to the microphone Leah Tindale.
Hello.
Fresh to the church, bit of new meat, new blood.
New meat. I don't think I'm that fresh now. It's like 7 months. Is that, oh well.
In the grand scheme of things, if we
sure.
compare you to Dot, who's
That is true. Okay,
going on
yes.
60 plus years.
All right.
You've got a long way to go.
Dot wins. I'm very, very fresh then.
Thank you for welcoming me to your beautiful apartment. We have an amazing sunny green view with the bumblebees outside.
Yes, the vista of the hills, you know.
It's a beautiful, peaceful area.
It is. I'm very, very lucky to be in this location, which I will not name just in case I get stalked.
Yeah, we are an anti-stalker podcast.
Yeah, okay, good.
we don't
stay away from
we don't agree with stalking of any kind.
Yeah, good. Ever. On
It's
the
a West
podcast.
City stance.
Yeah, okay, good. That's wholesome. Very Christ-like.
So to start off with, how and why did you make your way to Westcity Church and the Westcity community?
Well, I moved back from Sydney in March and I was looking for a different kind of church that I suppose had a Pentecostal flavour but more of a community focus. And a good friend of mine, Jason Hope, was already going to Westcity and he recommended that I come along with him and check it out, and pretty much walked in the door and I was like, yeah, I don't think I need to go anywhere else. This is my place. So
Felt homely.
It did, yeah. And I think I was very lucky in Sydney to find a church there that had a strong emphasis on community. And so once you've had it once, I think it's easy to pick up a place, another church that's similar, has the same thread and same heart behind it. So, yeah.
It is a unique feeling.
It is.
West City's community.
It is,
and I'm glad that you're able to replicate that from your Sydney days as well.
Yes, I was very lucky, I think, because it's usually a hard thing when you move to try and find a home. And so to only, in my first go, nail it in one.
That's what you want, right?
I know. Otherwise it's too exhausting travelling around too much. So
it is. And that's something that I guess a lot of people don't know if you don't move churches often. I've done 3 church moves in my lifetime. And it's all kinds of mentally zapping and exhausting.
It is, yeah, exactly. To make new connections and figure out then, okay, who do I invest in, who do I not? And then by the time you figure it out, actually, there may be no one to invest in here, or they don't want to invest in me.
Yeah.
And then you're like...
But that's not West City.
No, sorry. That's a podcast for another time. No, West City was the opposite. Lots of lovely people, lots of beautiful, warm faces, and getting into a connect group straight away. That's a top tip. If you're not in a connect group yet, what do you call them? Home churches.
Home church, connect group. Back in the day, they were called cell groups.
Cell groups,
remember the old cell group?
Yeah, love a cell group. Or D group.
What was
Did you have a D group?
for?
Was the same? I don't know what the D standard for. It was just called a D group.
I can't even think off the top of my head, use my wit to even create something that the D would stand for. Discipleship group, maybe.
Oh, maybe, yes.
That's probably actually what it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a D group. Anyway, we digress.
Tell us about your early years. Where'd you grow up? Your family?
Yes.
Your lifestyle?
My lifestyle. Well, I was born in Queensland.
Oh, really? You're a banana bender?
Yeah. Yeah, I bend so many bananas.
Am I allowed to call them banana benders?
I don't think so. There's banana benders, sand gropers, and that's what WA people are.
Yeah, sand gropers are WA, yeah.
And then, I don't know, anyway, that's all.
Nobody cares about everywhere else.
Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah, so from there, but then moved over here when my parents split up when I was 5. And then grew up north of the river in like Wanneroo, Marangaroo kind of area. Went to Kingsway Christian College.
Oh, as did every other
yes.
Christian in Perth, really.
I know.
I think even I was on the books there.
Oh, for a little while, were you?
Yeah, but we were too povo. I couldn't get in.
Oh my gosh, okay. That's so sad.
No, I went to public school, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I loved
okay,
it.
sure. You have probably a more robust upbringing because of that too.
It's true.
You know,
yeah. Resilient, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, had a few punch-ups, so you're okay.
Yeah.
And then...
I'm flattered that you think I was getting into punch-ups. I really wasn't.
No. Well, look, I can see from the physique that you have now, you look like a fighter. I don't know. Anyway.
I could go a couple of rounds with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, you can hold your own.
So your parents split up when you were 5?
Yes, yeah. So early days. And for a while, I think they tried to get back together, but then that was not going to happen. I think pipe dream. So then Dad followed Mum over here, and then was here for ages, and he moved back to Queensland when I was 18, I think. Anyway, and then lived with mum for most of my life, and then I don't know, what are the other parts of my growing up? Do you want to know? Always was in church. We could say I was saved when I was 3, but I don't know if that is like.
Why do you say when you were 3?
Because apparently that's when I said the first, the salvation prayer when I was 3.
Okay.
But I don't remember it, so I don't classify that as my like.
Come to Jesus
Yeah,
moment.
no. I think that was more. I actually think there's iterations, right? I think you come to Jesus in multiple times. With different hearts as different parts of you are sort of revealed and surrendered.
I would 100% agree with that.
So
I think
it's not a...
If I was to piggyback on your story, I remember there was a time in kids' church when I was very young, and there was a time in youth group when I was very young. And then even I feel like there's times in my adulthood in recent years, and probably the last 7 years ago, which is actually quite a long time now I think about it, you kind of have this moment where you go, no, what do I think? It's not what my parents think that I've inherited.
Exactly.
What do I think about this?
Yeah, exactly. And then redefining all the parameters. And then as things challenge you in life, and I think you're like, okay, well now where do I stand with that element? But I suppose that all that journey began when I was 3, I suppose you could say. And then my dad's a pastor, so we always were around strong, church situations, which was also the interesting then being with divorced parents, but then having one of them being a pastor, that was a little bit, controversial for a while.
Absolutely, it would be. Yeah.
I think he had to step down for a while because of the divorce, which was interesting. And another fun fact, my mum was asked to leave her church unless she brought my dad to the church with her. Like the only man she could bring to the church would be my dad.
And this was when she was divorced?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like very interesting times, and hearing all those little stories, I don't know how they would have shaped my psyche, but I always just found that really fascinating.
Yeah.
And like always from a heart of like they're trying to, foster good relationships, but then it just misses the mark, and then people feel isolated and excluded, which is
for
really
sure.
sad.
It ultimately pushes people away, then brings them closer to a church community and ultimately Christ.
Exactly. And I think as well, it's a bad taste in a young child's like mouth to remember, oh, that's the church that, like mum couldn't bring anyone to, or, even though I might have enjoyed it, it just puts a bit of a tarnish on the church experience. But
what was your relationship like with your mum and dad?
Hit and miss, I guess, because that's all parental relationships are.
Yeah, look, you
like.
can't choose your family.
No. Like with mum, used to be really, really close, and then dad not so much. And then as I've gotten older, so it's sort of flipped. I'm much more close with my dad and not so much with my mum. I think it's just a seasonal thing as well. Like, and that sounds bad to say that you need things from different parents at different times, like you're using them somehow, but I think, I don't know, I think in some sense that is true though, because there's like when you're younger, that more maternal, side of things you probably more gravitate towards. As you get older, you kind of need someone maybe that's a little bit less emotional and a little bit more like, I don't know, I'm speculating.
Rock solid, foundational, pragmatic.
Yes.
What about your working life? Where'd you start?
Well, this is a tale, isn't it? A tale as old as time. When I was much younger, I wanted to be a famous actress.
Oh, didn't we all want to be some kind of famous though?
I know, and I was going to make it because, I was called by the Lord to be a famous actress.
Is that what you
I don't know
felt
if you know this about me.
No,
but,
I don't. Is this legitimately, there was a moment where you felt, I actually feel called?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I always... I think I was from like 8. I was like, yep, I'm going to be an actress. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, this is what God's called me to do. It was like a no-brainer. No one could tell me otherwise.
Wow. I love that.
I was like, yep. And so then I did TE, but purely because I just should. But I was like, well, there's no point because I'm going to be like a famous actress. So like, this doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And then I auditioned for WAPA. And so my trajectory was get into WAPA, get an agent, get on a film set. She's made it. Happy days.
Yeah.
All before I'm 25.
Jet to the States?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd somehow get married in there too, because why not? All before I was 25.
Yeah.
Life goals sorted. And then auditioned for Whopper when I was 18 because you have to wait till you're a year out. And I didn't get in, crushed. I was like, what do I do now? So then I did Script Union for a while and did their acting fine age theatre company.
Scripture Union?
Yeah.
They used to have an acting branch.
Yes. They would do theatre shows in schools about various faith things and I think maybe bullying things.
Yeah, wow.
And we travelled all around WA doing that.
That's kind of cool.
Which was cool, but that wasn't paid, so I would work.
That's not cool.
Yeah, not so much. You're meant to fundraise your wage.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not good at that. I don't want to ask anyone for money. So I used to work, it would be 4 days full time, like I think it was at a cafe, and then the other days I would do this touring thing. And then at the end of that, some of the women in Script Union were like, you should go and study acting at C3 College. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I went, studied acting over in Sydney, moved there.
Once again, didn't realise that C3 had an acting branch.
Yes. So originally it was called the School of Creative Arts.
Okay.
And you could go there and just study your like creative field.
Yeah.
And then in the second year that I was there, they merged it so that the Bible College and the Creative College were one, and it became just C3 College, and it was the worst thing ever for those who purely went there for the creative reason because we were forced to study theology.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's not what I want there. I want to be, an actress.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then that was devastating, but also good because I learned some things about the Bible, and that was helpful. So I'm sure it was good.
It doesn't hurt to have that
exactly.
in you.
Good foundation. But then I don't know. The foundation was a bit hit and miss. Some interesting aspects of people, but that's another conversation for another time, so we won't go there. But
is the acting dream still alive?
The acting dream is always alive. It burns like a quiet little ember that I wish would go away.
Why do you wish it would go away?
Because it's a frustrating dream. It's not a realistic dream. It's not a dream that you have a lot of control over. It's not something that I can be like, right, I can do X, Y, Z, and that it will equal acting career. Like it just doesn't line up. It's not linear. And so like I have laid it down so many times, and I feel like I'm in a good place finally now where it's like, you know what, I'm building all these other cool creative things, but it was a real journey to, like, over the last 10 years really figure out, okay, well, what is it actually about acting? Is it the acting itself, or is there other elements here that then I can replicate in a career that will give me just as much satisfaction? So that's been like the last 10-year journey of being like, okay, I love being on set. I love meeting new people. I love telling the stories. I love learning information about people in their lives. So then funneling all that sort of information and then going, okay, well, the storytelling is linked to writing, and there's or meeting people, like what jobs can I do that are like you having a variety of people that you could coming and going, which then eventually led me to study marketing and comms about 4 years ago. And so that I fully moved into like PR in Sydney. Sorry, so annoying. So I fully moved into marketing and comms about 4 years ago. And then that was really hard to give up acting to go and do that, because I felt like my life was over and I'm going to just be this boring person. No offense to anyone who does marketing.
I can actually completely sympathise with that. Having come out of a creative field of radio and going into a marketing world, it's somewhat soul-destroying.
It really
you
is.
sit behind a computer all day and you post things on Facebook and have conversations with word salad like synergy and
that's the thing. And the hardest thing is I hated feeling like I was on the cog, like you're just on the wheel of consumerism, all for big corporations that I don't care about. I don't care if anyone buys this product, but I have to pretend that I do. So that was really tricky. And I mean, I still worked for some agencies that had some really cool clients and that had good ethos and values, and they were a little bit more meaningful, but it still wasn't quite right. And then moved back to Sydney. No, where am I? Perth. And got a job even in more marketing and social media. But I was like, I I can't do this.
Yeah, you
Like
don't want to be deeply embedded in it
No,
anymore.
exactly. Like I can do it, I'm good at it, but it's not, doesn't get me excited in the morning. And then all during this time, I was still working on my own projects. So I did my own podcast for a while. I vlogged. I started multiple different random, like I did an animation for a while, always doing some kind of creative thing. And then I've always done modeling and acting on the side whenever it popped up, jobs popped up. And then now I'm about to start a job as a journalist in a week.
Awesome.
Which is exciting. But the link, as I've looked back, I'm like, I've figured out the two things that are the core of everything that I do is people focused and story focused. And usually, and like, so it makes sense to me now to move into journalism because
it's a fantastic combo of the two.
Yeah, exactly. And but then any other things, like if I was to go back into marketing or social media, if it would need to be in a job where I could have a lot of interaction with the people that I work with.
Yeah.
And those people bring the richness to my job. So even like hunting down those elements, I think has been really important in my career because it's like, even if the work's dry, you still can find enjoyment because there's a link of purpose there, if that makes sense. That was a long answer to
No,
your...
it's great. I love...
my long tangent.
I love stories like that, and I can't help myself but see a deep spiritual element in stuff like that, particularly for you and your love of people and storytelling. Like it is, that is so close to what Jesus did. He had a massive love of people, and he would communicate with people through stories.
I mean, I do get told that I'm like Jesus.
I'm not. Yeah. I would dare say you were probably akin to Jesus.
Yes, I knew that was what you were saying. Leah and Jesus instead. Okay. No.
Thanks for sharing that. That's beautiful that you're on that kind of trajectory of realizing what your deep passion is. And ultimately, I think that is something that humans do really struggle with. I know myself, I'm going through it's almost a carbon copy of exactly what you're doing as a person in a marketing role who has this deeper desire to go, I need to entertain, I need to teach, I need to be around people and tell stories because that's how I get my fulfillment from life. Exactly. And I think that will really resonate with Westcity as the community has a lot of people who are artists, who are creatives, who kind of go, I can't be strapped to a computer all day. Like it just isn't me.
And I think that's really important because we often have like these dreams of this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, but we don't funnel down to the actual core truth of what's driving it. And if you can funnel it down and do the work and find that core thing, you'll be able to find contentment and joy in a lot of different scopes of work, even if it's not what you thought it would look like, because you've figured out what actually is the thing. And there's a great saying that's not really a great saying, but when I say it, it makes sense. It's that the thing is not always the thing. Have you heard this?
I feel like I have, but you'll need to explain it.
Sure.
For those at home, obviously
yeah,
I
of course,
understand.
yes, of course. The thing isn't always this thing if the thing has got to do with like a relationship dynamic. Like if you're you have a reaction, say someone is late or whatever, and then you get really angry that they were late. And you're like, oh, well, you just shouldn't have been late, blah, blah. But that's the thing that you're saying you're upset about, but that thing is actually not the core thing. The core thing is that maybe you have been feeling a little bit rejected and haven't had enough time for quality time, and so there's an extra layer on that relationship dynamic that shows to you that this person doesn't care about you. So that's like the thing is not always a thing. Deep dive.
Far out.
Just a little bit of psychology.
It's got really real for a lot of people listening right now.
Just a little bit of some other passion project or passion is psychology. But anyway.
I feel like we really did just touch on this next question about where do you get your fulfillment in life? And I dare say it is people and storytelling.
Yeah. Even without the storytelling part, it's people. Like I've been in many a job that I absolutely hated or haven't been able to tell stories or haven't been able to do anything creative. But if I feel like I have a moment of where someone's vulnerable or we are able to connect or I don't know, that just brings such joy and it moves you to be able to keep going doing the other dry stuff. But yeah. Gosh, I love people.
Yeah, this is...
They're a weird bunch.
I know that the Westcity podcast is for people listening, but right now I'm like, This is getting real for me because
Yeah.
I am such a person who's, I think in my new role that I've only been in for 12 months, it's actually helped me realize what I don't like in life and what it's put a
You cut the
spotlight.
fat.
Yeah, essentially it's me going, well, what do I love? It's people and being creative.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting that kind of fix where I am and I need to go somewhere else.
Yeah. But even then, if you were like, okay, well, I got the people element in some, so what does God want me to do with those people that I'm working with until this opportunity here is finished, whether that's one more week or whatever, like what do these people need? What have I got that they need in their life?
And that's absolutely right. I think that's a really great point that you have, is that, you know, we, in some sense, we do have an element of control over, you know, our future, our destiny, whatever you want to call it. But we also do need to make the most of a situation we are in, as Christians, as believers in Jesus, and make hay while the sun is shining in that particular area. So, for example, for me, yes, I might be looking for new work, but that might not come for another 8, 12 months, whatever it might be. So what am I going to do in that meantime while I'm with these people? And go, well, okay, I'm just going to love them.
Exactly.
Which is such a cliche, I know, but
it's the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, show them that there is something inside of you that's different.
Exactly.
To what other people have experienced before.
Yeah. And honestly, I think to genuinely connect with people is one of the most rare and difficult things, and it doesn't actually happen often because people are very inward focused, that they don't stop to like when they're talking to someone really be present, because everyone's thinking about tomorrow or thinking about yesterday rather than being right here, right now. I'm talking to you, I value you, and so I'm going to be here. And if you can do that with the people that you work with, like, whew, life's changed, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's
the whole thing.
When you open up your heart to each other and you get that level of vulnerability, you actually have, I guess, some kind of credit that you can actually work on. I mean credit as in like relational currency. You're building it up with them so you can actually, when push comes to shove, you can actually then go, well, hang on, let's really talk about life. Let's not talk about this surface level, superficial stuff.
And no one wants that. Everyone's so tired of that. Everyone's so tired of the weather chat and the, you know, like, especially with social media and everything, it's so superfluous. Everyone really is just wanting someone to see them. Yeah. And I just think how cool that we can be in a position where we can facilitate that. Yeah,
it's like the way I would describe it is when you see someone and you say, how are you going? No, actually, how are you going? Because when you really go down in that, it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm going good. We go, no, actually.
Well, I've started telling people directly how I am when they ask me, and I find it fascinating to watch people's responses. I had a girl, I think it was 2 weeks ago at work. She's only new back. She's been away for a while. And she was like, oh, how are you going, Leah? And I was like, oh, actually, I'm really terrible this week. I had a panic attack a week ago. And blah, blah. She was like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, well, you know, it's fine. But it's just... And I think then automatically it then allows people to be like, oh, I don't have to hold it together.
No.
Why are we pretending?
It's okay to be broken, to be fragile.
Yeah.
To have things that aren't going great.
And it doesn't mean that you can't perform, that you're not capable, that you're not like those things aren't related. Whereas I think for too long they've been too interconnected. And so people are afraid. I'm like, no. Yeah,
they'll hold off giving you responsibility or new opportunities purely because they go, I don't know if they can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. And so far that's not happened. So it's
great.
Working for me, but we'll see.
Well, it's kind of funny that you bring that up. So I guess the next question that we're going to drill down on is what tip would you share with others to live well? To live well, which is such a crazy broad statement now that I think about it. But you've had so much experience in such a short lifetime. You're still so young.
I mean, if people haven't met me at Westcity, I could be any age, couldn't I?
You could.
How old am I? I guess we'll take a poll after this. I think there's a few things. I reckon one of the biggest things though is the thing about vulnerability. I think it's a scary thing to be vulnerable with others, and even sometimes more scary to be vulnerable with yourself, to take the time to be in like the quiet and self-reflection and actually look in the mirror and then be like, oh, wow, okay, and actually see who you are, and then do the work to change what you don't like, to ask God to reveal character flaws or things or trauma that you need to maybe unpack. And I think that kind of self-reflection is so important, because we either get too busy that we don't give ourselves enough time, or we fall into our own previous like habits where we just run away from our problems, or we just it's too overwhelming. But if we want to have an authentic and rich life with wonderful, authentic relationships, we have to first do that with ourselves. And then by doing so, we're going to be able to facilitate that in the relationships that we have with friends, family, loved ones, whoever, because we're asking ourselves the hard questions. So when you want to have that hard conversation with somebody else, you're able to say, you know, well, look, actually, I know these are my shortcomings. Or if there's a falling out, or someone says, you know, when you do this, it makes me feel like this, or whatever, you're able to say, yeah, I can see how, like, you're not going to be so, your ego, your ego's not going to be like wrapped up in everything, and you're going to be able to then grow and change and move forward. I feel like that's probably my biggest thing. And any opportunity you have, I think, to be vulnerable is never in vain.
No.
And even if it feels like you're dangling on a ledge, like out in the open by yourself, and, you know, I still think that's a risk worth taking in the long term, in no matter what capacity you're in, especially as well if you're in a position of leadership. There's nothing like seeing a leader who is able to be vulnerable. Yeah. Because it's not a thing that people do very well, I don't think.
No, I would completely agree with it. I think that a great leadership quality is a leader who's actually willing to admit that they don't have it all together, they don't have all the answers, and they go, yeah, I failed in this area.
Exactly.
I think that's fantastic what you've said, even about the whole having awareness of yourself, and being able to ask yourself questions of saying, how do my actions in that situation make other people feel?
Exactly.
And being aware of your own faults and being like, yeah, okay, there's stuff about my personality that might be abrasive to other people, or whatever it is. And not beating yourself up about it.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just because you have a flaw or something you need to work on doesn't mean that you're worthless. It just means that you are being reflected in the image of Christ, and Christ can then refine you further. But yeah, if you never look in the mirror, then God never has the opportunity to cut away the fat and to hone in and to make yourself more like him, and to move forward and
to use a biblical reference, I guess, as being clay in the hands of the potter, really. Is letting him refine those rough edges on you.
Exactly.
And that takes time.
Yeah. Time, and
takes heat as well.
Heat, yes. A few traumatic experiences, you know, all of that kind of stuff. A few people that grate you up the wrong way. You always need those.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We live in a world now where there's so much changing. And there's so much, I guess, issues in society that we're all told that we need to care about, which I guess can, in one sense, produce compassion fatigue long term. A lot of people, because if you're caring about anything, if you care about everything, you're just going to burn yourself out, because there is just so much injustice in the world.
Yeah, true.
And that's not to say that you shouldn't have an opinion on everything or anything like that, but it's almost like a pick your battles kind of thing. I guess I'm getting at, and what I want to say is to you is there is an injustice in this world, or a societal norm that for you is top of the pyramid of what you would go, that it's wrong, and I want to see that changed.
Where do we start? No, the list is long. No, I feel like my thing might be a little bit subtle, but and probably twofold. So one thing that really like frustrates me is when people don't own the space that they're in. They don't give themselves enough credit. They don't value themselves. They are negative and they don't hold like good self-worth and self-value. And collectively, this frustrates me as a society, but more so for when women do it. I think women always automatically discount themselves, take themselves out, are apologetic. And whether you want to blame the patriarchy, whether you want to blame societal norm, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think it's time and time again, it's always you see females bowing out or apologizing or taking themselves out of the role for a job or not asking for the pay rise or like whatever it may be because they discount themselves. And I find it incredibly frustrating because every person is so valuable. Every person has so much merit and credit and worthiness and something to offer. And when you discount yourself, you're taking away the opportunity for the world to benefit for what you have to offer. So you're not only doing yourself a discredit from like taking yourself out of a situation that you might want to be in, but you're also doing the rest of the world a disservice because you're removing yourself. So that kind of thing really frustrates me, I guess. And I think as well, people just not pursuing what they love. There's nothing worse than when people are like, oh, well, I can't do that, or I'm 40 now, so yeah, it's too late for me. I'm like, why? Why is anything too late? Why are we so quick to give up on things or to stop pursuing dreams or to like taking risks? Like, I'm 32 and I just bought a skateboard. And I'm gonna start skating and maybe break a leg. I don't know, but it's gonna be great.
And you're gonna have fun.
And I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about the society that it's like you tick the boxes of life and then you get to a certain age and then you just sort of like hole up into your little house and
buy a caravan and
shrivel
use
away.
it twice a year.
Yeah, exactly. Like why? Like all of that kind of stuff frustrates me. Don't do that. Do what you want to do. Do what makes your heart sing. Do what gives you fire. Do the dream that when you close your eyes, you can see it. You don't even have to. You don't have to dwell. You don't have to whatever. It's like, do you know that thing that I'm talking about?
I do. 100%.
It's that the thing that gives you fire that everyone just pushes away, whether it's like a God picture or a God dream or a word or a whatever, or the person you want to become. Like it could be so diverse, but like I just would love if every single person did the thing and moved towards the thing that when they closed their eyes, their whole being just came alive. Then we would be in such an incredible world because people would be living in their truth. They'd be being authentic to who they are. They wouldn't be being apologetic. And as a result, everyone would benefit. I feel like I started to rant and ramble. No,
it's good. That's fantastic.
That's my... Yes. I get excited about this stuff. Anyway.
I'm hesitant to add anything to that because you literally nailed it all. I think for me, it looks like making sure that when it comes time to bow out of this life from old age or sickness or whatever it might be, that I would be able to sit there or lie there or wherever situation I'm in and go, yeah, I did not leave a stone unturned.
Absolutely. Exactly. And I think we get so granular in like today and, oh my God, if I don't do all of this now, when like your life is so long, like, and whether it is your life is only 40 years, like that's still a long time and you can fit so much in it and you can achieve so much when you're actually living in your truth and living authentically and not making excuses and not doing what you think you should do. Well, that's another pet peeve of mine that I've recently discovered. Doing the things because you should do them, not because you actually want to do them.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Faith clearly has such a deeply rooted and ingrained part of your life. Let's just unpack that quickly. How's your faith impacted your everyday?
Well, it is the fiber that runs through my veins. It is the fabric of who I am. I can't.
If you've got fibre in your veins,
I
that's
know.
not a good thing.
I was
Just
like,
saying.
the fibre is the wrong word, but like as in it's
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the cells. I don't know.
It's the fibre that runs through my bowels because I eat all
irregular,
bran.
Yes. Okay, maybe more like the blood that runs through my veins. But it's
Sorry, I took away a really
I
intimate
know
moment
you
there
did.
from you.
ruined that. Oh dear. No. It's just I don't know. I have so many sayings that pop to mind. I was going to say it's the bread and butter.
But no, it is.
But it's like it's foundational. It's everything. I owe everything I am to Christ, and like even recently, just driving around wherever I'm going, I just have been like, "He's so cool. How are you so cool?" And I keep being like, every time you think you've got the parameters right of this is where God is, and then he comes along and he's like, no, I'm out here and you're flawed again. And it's so exciting because I always am like, I don't know, my early 20s self, when you're thinking about my relationship with God, you're like, cool, yeah, this is what it is. And you never can fathom how big he is.
Yeah.
Until you then start fathoming how big he is, and then you just get mind blown all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could go on a tangent about that forever because he's a wild ride.
He is. He really is.
Yeah.
And I often find that stuff that we've kept close to our heart for a long time, it comes to fruition in one way, shape or form. And that might be years down the line. It's in God's time. I feel like I'm saying a lot of cliches here, but it's so true that it's almost like we harbour these deep desires and God really sees them.
Exactly. And I just think you cannot go wrong if God is just your bread and butter, your everyday and your foundation and your source of everything. You cannot go wrong. And life will look very different and it might be full of some really horrible stuff, but it makes the good stuff so sweet. And somehow when you're on the floor crying your eyes out, it makes that so sweet. And like, who would have thought there's such sweetness in times like that?
Yeah, in despair. That's beautiful. Come the end of your life, it's quite a hard thing to think about, I know, for a lot of people. And even 10 years after you're gone, how would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as someone who loved people well, I think, and who gave... Oh, I think I'm getting emotional. That came from nowhere. That was weird.
Let the tears flow.
Thank you. It just felt like a bit choked up for a second. That saw people, that really saw them and gave them the time of day. And that, people were like, I met Leah and she really valued me and the time, whether that was 10 minutes for coffee or whether that was, years of life. Yeah, I think
that's beautiful.
Thanks for making me cry, Corey.
It's all right. It's what I do with most women.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, that's normal for you, right? No.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, good. Anyway.
To keep the macabre kind of vibe going.
Good.
What would you... It's the final fun question that we do with the Westcity podcast is what would you like written on your headstone? Assuming you didn't get cremated.
Well, I was going to say I do want to get cremated, just as anyone who's going to write my will can know she's happy with a cremation.
Happy with a cremation.
Yeah. Scatter my ashes somewhere over an ocean. That'd be great. That's a different conversation. But if I was to have a tombstone, I don't know, something really lame comes to mind. Here lies Leah, a really cool chick. That's not really like, it's gone from deep sentiment to like
the cool chick.
The cool chick? I don't know. Yeah.
I love that. I think it sums up exactly how you are as well. And how
cool chick?
Yeah, cool chick. And how you've approached life and how you approach your faith as well and how your relationship is with Jesus. And I guarantee that it deep in my heart, I think that you would get to heaven and Jesus would open his arms towards you and say, Leah, you're
Cool chick.
You were a cool chick.
That
And
would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I was just so happy watching you live.
That would be cool, I reckon. Yeah. I like it.
Thank you very much for joining us on the West City
Thank you.
podcast.
Thanks for having me. What a treat.
See you later.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the West City Stories podcast. We hope you found today's interview enriching and inspirational.